Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome to another FIFA 23 early game video. Today we have had the full database for Ultimate Team. We've got way more players at our disposal for squad builders. We still obviously don't have the game yet, but I can sit here and make some much better, much more unique and better sort of variety starter teams. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be looking at a squad that I have put together that I think early doors in the game is not going to be expensive at all. I think it's going to have a very, very good value, has 33 chemistry. Every single player in this team is on chemistry and you don't even need a manager. So that does mean that in a couple of situations, if you would like to either change things to slightly cheaper or you get someone untradeable and you can actually make a different link in there, you have got a little bit of luxury of maybe being able to find extra chemistry elsewhere using the manager. So hopefully this video is enjoyable, and if you do enjoy it and you find it helpful, then please do leave a like on the video. It supports me, the video, and the channel out a whole bunch. We're going to have loads of different content coming out in the start of 23, and this is just the beginning. Make sure you hit that sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime we upload a video as well. Without further ado, let's get into it. Just before we look at the team though, we are going to hear very quickly from today's video sponsor. Do you need some more coins for your FIFA Ultimate Team? Then look no further than U7Buy. They're the cheapest and most reliable place to get your FIFA Ultimate Team coins. And if you use code Hursty at checkout, you'll get yourself an extra discount. I want to say a massive thank you to U7Buy for sponsoring us. Don't forget that code Hursty. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so this team is going to start off as a 4-1-2-1-2. I'm not entirely sure how the in-game formation changing happens in FIFA 23 because that's not something that we've really necessarily seen yet. However, I'm quite confident that it will be that if you want to change the game like in-game formations, then you can. However, everyone can start in these positions at the start of the game. With the way the chemistry works, if you don't know if a player is out of position, they don't add to the sort of chemistry ticks that they do fulfill. If you guys are a bit confused still on how the chemistry works, I did upload a video based on the new chem system. Feel free to go check it out. I'll make sure to put a box somewhere at some point in the video, but make sure you do go and check that out because I do cover everything and how it all works. But this team is based off of some pretty cheap starting players. I think there will be a few that will have a bit of price to them, just sort of that early game sort of cheap meta, you know, these low rated beasts kind of cards, but I do think across the board this will be a relatively attainable team within a week or so. I don't think this is going to take too long to get the amount of coins needed for this team. Obviously I don't really have to work on like who links next to who, so I can kind of go and start off with some cards that might seem a little bit strange. The goalkeeper is actually going to be DEAF KEV. Now it may seem straight off the bat that this is a really, really weird way to begin, and that's because it is. This is a very odd way to begin this team. It's DEAF KEV, sorry. But initially straight off the bat, and I've made sure to keep it on the screen here so you guys can see that you do have this Dinamo Zagreb, the Croatian, and then the Croatian nationality as well. So you have got those three different links immediately going there. That's what we're already ticking the boxes for. So the next thing you kind of really want to do is try and tick more of these boxes, and we're going to start off with a player that starts off pretty good at most years, and that is Orsic. Now Orsic can play as a left mid and a striker, it says in game. So if you decided what you wanted to do was run Orsic at striker instead of the striker we're going to put in, you could have a look at left mid options that would maybe switch with the striker. But again, I think the striker kind of works well in this squad. But I think Orsic's card looks really, really nice. The only thing I'll say is I don't know what his weak star and skill moves are to start off with here, but I do think that Orsic looks very, very usable for the start of this game. And again, it's one of those weird ones that I don't think many people are going to think about running a Croatian league sort of squad. You know, it's a bit of a weird one to kind of try and tick boxes for, but I think this squad looks very, very usable, the few players we've got from the team. And the next one, which I think is going to be by far one of the cheapest players in this squad, is Ivanusic. Now, again, I think this card is actually really good for the start of the game. 82 pace on a cam is really, really usable. He can only play cam is one thing worth bearing in mind. But 81 dribbling and then 70 shooting, 71 passing. For me personally, I'm going to think of putting like a Deadeye on this card because then he's got high 70 shooting, just short of 80 passing, 82 pace and 81 dribbling with decent physicality as well for a cam card. But all three of those cards, because they're same league, same nation, same team, actually have perfect chemistry. Whatever else you put in this squad, you do not need a single other link to any of these players. So any other links that potentially link to nation or league or whatever are just for the sake of the other players we're adding. These guys now all have perfect chemistry without a manager, without anyone else in the squad. These guys are good to go. And I think, again, this is one of those little trios to look at and think, this is a really unique trio here. And I don't see many people sort of running to the transfer market to pick these guys up. But I think DEAF KEV, again, keepers, it's a bit of a who knows, really? We don't really know how keeper's going to be. So it could be that Livakovic is stinky. And if he is, then obviously we'll have to work something else out there. But I think for the sake of getting Orsic and Ivanusic in there, who I think will both be very cheap, it's a very, very viable way to go. Up next, what I'm going to do is we're actually going to go into the Bundesliga. And we'll go with the initial player that kind of gets some links in, but doesn't necessarily need to, and that's Brekalo. He's a centre forward, but can play striker and left mid. So again, this is another scenario here where actually you could swap these two round if you wanted to. Run Brekalo out wide, run Orsic up top. The reason I didn't do that is purely because of the pace of Orsic, but with a chem style, you could throw a catalyst on Brekalo and then run something more attacking on Orsic, because Orsic has actually got better shooting. But he gets one chemistry off the bat just from a bunch of Croatians in the team. He doesn't get his chemistry from the Croatian links particularly, but he does get a bit of a boost from that as well. But yeah, Brekalo again in this squad, I think a pretty decent starting card. 84 dribbling as well was very, very viable, and I think will be very usable for the start of the game. If you were to run him as a winger, I think I'd maybe go with an engine, just boost the passing a little bit. If you're running him as a striker, then I'd probably say you want to get like a Hawk or a Hunter, just get the shooting up a tad, because 76 isn't loads, but early game again, this is for like seeing you through those first couple of weeks where you can do some trading, do some investing, and pick up some cheaper starter squads, and this I think is falling perfectly into that bracket. Up next, we're going to go to the left back, and we're going to Roussillon. Now, Roussillon, I think, has the small luxury of Paulo Otavio also being very, very viable and having almost identical links. Bundesliga, Wolfsburg, but it's Brazilian or French, depending on who you take. Now, the reason I've gone with the French one is because we are also taking Lacroix, and that is because Lacroix looks unreal. Lacroix is going to be one of the more pricey players in this squad. I will say that outright now. I'm not saying I think Lacroix is going to be discard or anything stupid. He is going to have some value at the start of the game, because look at that card. It is absolutely outrageous. Can only play centre-back. Roussillon, by the way, can play left wing-back, but I don't think many people are going to do that for the start of the game. And now, again, like we were just saying, Roussillon and Brekalo and Lacroix are now also fully sorted for chemistry. Roussillon and Lacroix both get a French link, get a Wolfsburg link, and get a Bundesliga link. Brekalo gets the same links, except he gets the Croatian link. So that's sort of how he links in. If you wanted to change Brekalo, you could change him to another player from the Bundesliga, but he would have to link to nationalities also in the squad. The other way of doing it is by getting another Frenchman from the Bundesliga, and again, then you're sorted for working things out. But this way this works here is kind of perfect and ticks all the boxes that you would need it to tick. But these two defensively, I think both look sound. Roussillon, I think you could get away with just running a Sentinel, because I think 86 pace at the start of the game is going to be okay, but an anchor would be preferable. Lacroix, do what you want. The guy looks unreal. Again, Sentinel for me looks great. Or a Backbone, because the 55 passing is a tad low, but I don't think it's going to ruin your experience of the card. Up next, we're actually going with a 3 different team link, but same nation, same league. So we're going to be running a Kanji at this centre-back position, who looks, again, fantastic. Basically, you're taking off the pace that Lacroix's got. You're taking off 10 pace, but you're redistributing that into very, very nice passing, very solid defending, and some decent dribbling. You kind of get like a nice little mix of proper quick centre-back in Lacroix, and then very quick centre-back still in 77 pace, but a bit more playing the ball out, have that option to dribble a little bit if you're in that sort of position at the back. But I think this defensive partnership here, I think, could be absolutely unreal. Sitting in the middle, just in front of them, is going to be, if I spell it right, Zakaria, who looks disgusting. Again, I think this is going to be another card that will be pricey at the start of the game. I think Zakaria, Lacroix, and then I've got one player that's going to be our right mid, I think will be the 3 more expensive players. The striker right back, Akanji, I think will have a bit of price, and I think the others are going to be a lot cheaper. But yeah, Zakaria, look at this card. He looks fantastic. Obviously, Chelsea links, which would help him with other things, but he is the only Chelsea player in this squad. Does get a Swiss link here, and is actually going to have another Swiss player here, but that doesn't boost an extra thing, but it will be that he gets 2 extra points from Premier League. We have these 3 players are all Premier League. These 2 get a link together, and then obviously these 3 get the link for being Swiss. So that's how the chemistry works here. And the final one is going to be Mbabu, as I've probably slightly given away there. I think Mbabu, again, looks really, really viable. Very, very good card. Move to the Prem helps this team out a whole bunch. Obviously, would have had Wolfsburg linked, so you could have then changed the left back a little bit. But I think Mbabu looks really, really viable for the start of the game. Very, very solid. And I think would sit comfortably into a lot of starter teams. And then finishing up the team here, we're going to go with Bailey and Antonio. Get that Jamaican link in there. for this starting team. Antonio was quite infamously a very good starter card for the start of 22, and I think he's going to be the same this time. I think Bailey will have a bit of a price to him because 92 pace, 83 dribbling. I'm not sure what his skill moves and weak foot are, but I'd imagine they're half decent. And I think personally, this squad here is just perfectly rounded, perfectly complete. And the different ways to adjust chemistry in this team are very viable. One way that I was thinking about it earlier is, say for example, you wanted to then make an upgrade on the Croatian trio. Someone like a Nemecha, obviously German, plays for Wolfsburg, could come in here, and then you need some German players that would link nicely, and obviously the Bundesliga links would tick every other box as well that you need anyway. But personally, I think this little 3-league hybrid here is a really, really viable way to start the game. As I said, you don't actually need a manager with the team running like this. What you could do is change this duo here to another duo of your choice, and that would help out. Again, if you change Orsic, Ivanusic and Livakovic, let's say you went with a Santander trio. Let's say, for example, you picked up a Sevilla goalkeeper cam left mid. Brekalo can become again, someone like a Nemecha or whatever, but you could, as long as it's a Bundesliga player, Roussillon and Lacroix both get chemistry. If his nation links with another team, so let's say you picked up a Swiss player from the Bundesliga, or if there's a Jamaican striker, I don't know that there is, or, you know, linked to the triple nation you've got going on here, he's still fine. You would just need a manager to be the same nation as him, or from the same league, or just tick that final box, basically. But yeah, I think this team here is really well-rounded. I don't see it causing a problem in regards to price. I don't see it being too much at all in the way of what you're looking to spend early game. A couple of pricier options in Zakaria, in Lacroix, in Bailey, you know, some mid-range prices in Antonio and Mbabu and Akanji. But, you know, half the team I think is going to be pretty gosh darn affordable. And, you know, you start the game smartly at the start of the game, and I think you could easily attain this in a week. I really, really do. I think this is a very, very good starting first week team while you save up more to improve your coin total and then pick up those bigger cards. I personally think this is an absolute gem, and I would not be upset if this is the team I started with. Depending on how my pat luck and my trading luck is at the start of the game, I genuinely think this is something I'm going to push for. I'll be brutally honest with you. Let me know what you guys think of it, of course. Let me know if there's any players you would slightly tweak, or if there's any cheaper alternatives to some players in here. If you think of, you know, a different duo you could run instead of Antonio Bailey, there's still a few cards that I'm yet to see. I was trying to fit in Patson Daka, but I couldn't actually see a right mid option card for Leicester. Barnes can only play on the left-hand side, and I couldn't find a Maddison that was on the right or anything like that. So I was initially going to go for Daka over Antonio, but when I saw that Bailey card, I thought, you know what? Antonio Bailey's a really, really nice link. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and if there's any tweaks you would make to this team. But that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, then please leave a like on the video. It supports me, the video, and the channel out a whole bunch. If you're new, hit the sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. At the moment, I'm uploading a bunch of stuff on my TikTok for like start of FIFA 23. So make sure you go check that out. I'll make sure there's a link down below. There's also a link to my Twitch down there, which obviously we stream on, and you guys can come in and join the fun of this pre-FIFA 23 hype. We're getting a lot of things like this done, building fun squads and stuff. And make sure you check out the links to the channel sponsors. Thank you so much, of course, for supporting the channel. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you very soon. Look after yourselves. And of course, wash your hands. His name is Hursty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat or say hello. Entertain, yeah, you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Hursty games, yeah, you already know.